What's good, YouTube? So today I'm bringing you my Invoked Dogmatika Shaddoll / Thunder Dragon deck profile. One of the classics, one of my favorite decks of all time. One of my first times ever being introduced to the classic Alistair the Invoker. Such a classic card, and honestly still not as busted as he was back then, but still very much a dependent and reliable one-card starter. It was also my first introduction to Shaddoll Winda, one of my very first Floodgates I ever really played with. And honestly, she's just one of my favorite cards and artworks of all time. I don't know if it's the green hair with the purple contrast backdrop. I don't know what it is, but this deck is extremely fun to play, very beginner friendly. Honestly, I'm going to be also making a how to play beginner's guide, combo guide for this deck. In that video, I do mention that when I do have friends or family that are trying to get into the game and they want to learn a very simple deck, this is one of the decks that I do give them because the lines are very linear and very straightforward once you do get them down. But yeah, hopefully, I think that video will probably be posted before this one. But yeah, let's go straight into the deck profile. We are running 3 Alistair the Invoker. He is a one-card starter, and we have 3 more copies of Alistair, 4 more copies of Alistair. So Magical Meltdown gets you Alistair, and then Terraforming gets you Magical Meltdown, and then we are also running Invocation. I only own 1 Invocation. Otherwise, I would be running more. I feel like you definitely want to run 2. I only have 1 because in my Blue Eyes Invoke deck, you only really use 1. He does recycle himself, but with this deck, mainly I rely on Alistair as your main normal summon. I do definitely recommend running 2. Again, I do not own a second copy, but I would run another one. We are also running Super Poly, so we have other ways to fuse into monsters. But aside from Super Poly, Invocation is our 1 lone card starter. I'm also working on a Shaddoll Heavy version where I do run 3 Shaddoll fusions as well. If that's something you guys are interested in, let me know. I can move it up the chain of command in regards to videos I am working on at the moment. This deck only has Shaddoll Schism and then a few monsters in the extra deck, which is typically what Invoked Shaddoll Dogmatika does run, just because the Shaddoll cards are a little slower, especially in modern times compared to what they once were. But that is a 8 card Alistair the Invoker package. Then we are also running 3 Nemesis Corridor, so he is a 1 card way to get into our Thunder Dragon Colossus. And because we are running Alistair, we obviously are going to be banishing cards. We also have Dogmatika Maximus, 2 banished cards as well. Being able to go into Thunder Dragon Colossus with 1 card is honestly super busted. So there's really no reason to not run it. It's definitely a win more card, I would say. But honestly, with this deck being so old, you want the ceiling of your end board to be as strong as possible. And I feel like Nemesis Corridor and Thunder Dragon Colossus enable that. The other card I am experimenting with is also our Nemesis Flag with also 3 Small World. This can go into our Arch Nemesis Protos, making our end board even more toxic. If that is also something you guys are interested in also seeing, I can do a how to play with Arch Nemesis Protos and Nemesis Flag and Small World as well, because having Small World enables our Nemesis Quarter to have banished monsters as well. But that's pretty much it for the Thunder Dragon package, aside from the main deck. Then we have 2 Dogmatika Ecclesia, 1 Fleur de Lis, and 1 Dogmatika Maximus. You could cut this down to 1, honestly. Dogmatika Ecclesia, not really as viable now as it was back then, or it was definitely a 3 of. You mainly want to use Dogmatika Maximus, and then Fleur de Lis is your monster negate as well. Then the card that is still just as strong as it was back then, Nadir Servant, a great going second card, also a way to get into your Dogmatika package. And then our 1 Shaddoll card in the main deck is Shaddoll Schism, basically our 1 card to get into our Winda. Then for some consistency, we have Called by the Grave and Pot of Prosperity. We are running a lot of hand traps, but honestly, Called by is just too powerful to not run, especially if we are getting Ash Blossoms or any Molcharmies as well. You definitely want to utilize Called by the Grave and Pot of Prosperity just for some consistency as well. Then we have 3 Super Polys. Again, this is a fusion deck and we only have Invocation, so having Super Poly is not only one of the most busted going second cards in the game, especially right now. It's definitely just good to have in a fusion deck. Then 1 other card to kind of help with our Nemesis line and just getting monsters banished is our 2 Bysteel monsters. I originally had 3 Bysteel Baldrakes. I did cut them down for the Super Polys. But if you do want to save money, the $6 to $7 on Super Poly, my recommendation is to get 3 Bysteel Baldrakes. Then for some more hand traps, we're running 3 Drolls, 3 Ash. If you want to save $3, you could also cut Ash. I have 2 Veilers. You could add a 3rd Veiler for sure. Ghost Spell, definitely an underrated hand trap at the moment. Another underrated hand trap is Ghost Ogre, just really great against Vanquish Soul at the moment. With Vanquish Soul being a top 3 deck, this card is definitely really amazing, especially against Blue Eyes. My Locals has a ton of Blue Eyes, and this card puts in work against Blue Eyes. So that's a clean 40 for the main deck. Now going into the extra deck, we are running 2 Shaddoll Windas. One of the best, one of my favorite cards of all time, one of my favorite artworks of all time. If you want to see how to get Winda on the field, I am going to be posting a how to play for this deck as well. Again, share it with your friends or family that is trying to get into the game because the lines are super linear. Shaddoll Apgalone, we utilize Dogmatika Maximus and our Nadir Servant to send this card from our deck to the graveyard, and that way we can get into our Shaddoll Schism. 2 Invoked Makabas because we are trying to obviously utilize Alistair a lot in this deck, so you want to run 2 of them. Then our Thunder Dragon Colossus, our 1 card. This is our one-sided draw Knockbird. Titaniclad, one of our ways to get into our Dogmatika cards. Garura is not only a great Nadir Servant target, but it is one of the best cards to use for our Super Poly because it requires 2 monsters with the same type and attribute but different names. Outer Entity Antis, just some extra going second cards for our Nadir Servant. Mud Dragon, again for Super Poly, and then we have our little mini package for our Alistair line. And then another going second card, Superstar Star Typhon. He is only like 50 cents to $1 at the moment, so there's really no reason why you shouldn't be running this card in all of your rogue and budget decks. So that completes my deck profile. A very simple and beginner-friendly deck. Again, I am going to be posting a deck combo tutorial for this deck, very easy guide. It probably will be posted before this. I'm not really too sure in regards to what the lineup will look like. I have a bunch of videos currently recorded. I just need to edit them. I did just hit 1,000 subscribers, so I do want to thank you guys as well for that. I did not expect the channel to grow as fast as it did. That is a large part because of you guys. But if you guys want to see more additions or more alterations to Invoked Dogmatika Shaddoll, I also have a branded and a heavier Shaddoll version of this deck. If either of those sound enticing to you guys, let me know, leave a comment. Please share, subscribe if you aren't subscribed, and just remember, enjoy playing Yu-Gi-Oh! This deck is one of the fondest memories I have of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! It was one of my first competitive decks. So it is really cool and awesome to kind of see these cards again on screen and kind of share them with you guys. But yeah, really cool deck, really fun deck. Again, check out the combo guide to see what the lines are. The end board of this deck is honestly super busted. I say that with a lot of my decks, but this one having Shaddoll Winda, Thunder Dragon Colossus, and Makaba as your end board monsters is honestly one of the coolest things. But I think that's all I got for you guys today. I'll catch you guys in the next video.